witnessed that sometimes I was directly involved with those companies, sometimes I was indirectly involved with those companies. And that's really the reason that we set up SLSV in about 2014. And we evangelize, we tell stories about inclusivity, about, socio-cultural and commercial objectives to be together, like the triple bottom: people, planet, profit, consciousness, not just profits. So yeah, you may decide, okay, profits first, but you cannot totally ignore people and planet. And the day you do that, if you start doing that, you will collapse. It's only a matter of time. And then when we started talking about it, people were very receptive. We did get some consultancy assignments, but they did. There was a lot of inertia, so people were not adopting it in their business plans. They were not, it was not a part of their day-to-day business operations cycle. So we said, okay, we'll wait it out and see. And then we started doing million other things alongside it. So we started investing in impact startups, things that nobody was saying. And I'm not sitting on bag of cash, and I don't have a lot of cash which I can pump behind ideas that I believe in. So what I started doing was I started putting my time behind those ideas. And if you can't put money, you can put time. So I started spending a lot of time mentoring startups. So in some of the startups that I thought I could even put money, I put my own money. So even SLSV, I put my own money, and see, because I wanted to make sure that it's big. I didn't want to raise funding and then it becomes a liability. And I want to be raising funding with people who are aligned on a value ethical system on these ideas. So yeah, so that's really the whole story of, so now today, we have SLSV has users coming from more than 20 countries on the platform. I mean, who would have thought? And so initially I had very little traffic coming from India. Initially, hardly any. And most of the traffic was coming from markets like US, Singapore, the other such satellite markets, Hong Kong, but hardly any traffic. But now in the last 2 years, I'm seeing now there's a lot of traffic coming from India. And today, the percentage of traffic from India is the highest on our platform, followed by US and UK and even Africa, Europe, even Turkey. So we have now traffic coming from more than 20 plus countries onto the platform, which is a testimony to the fact that it is relevant, it's significant, it affects people's lives. They are realizing that in the boardroom, you have to impregnate your boardroom with kindness, with inclusivity, with diversity, and not just diversity in the sense of, oh, on my board, I have 30% women and 70% men. So I've got a gender representation, not like that. Or, oh, the color of the skin representation. Diversity truly means that do we have the courage to listen to different viewpoints? As a leader, do you have the courage to assimilate differing viewpoints? People who have a different window to the world. Do you have the courage to integrate those viewpoints in your decision making? To me, that's what diversity means. It's, of course, you need to get like people with who are differently able. So we run campaign with corporates to make a business case for differently abled workforce and how they can add value. It's not because they're visibly missing a limb. That's not what their value is. It's like they just have a different wiring, and they have a different view on the world. So somebody, let's say, who's visually impaired will have the other senses which are heightened. So it's not like they may have a physical disability, but they have a different vantage view onto the world, and that gets into their work. So we've started making cases like that for them to understand that diversity is a great business practice, and even more so today than before. And now, since we live in the COVID world, now all the things that we were talking about 5 years back, now suddenly they've become relevant, significant for people. Now suddenly everything is making sense. Yeah, people, planet, profit. Everybody's into the triple bottom line. Yeah, environmental, social, governance, confluence. Putting all these three cogs, three pillars together to move forward, taking people along, not just physically in the view of, oh, they are diverse, oh, one gender women and gender male. So what? That's not really what the idea is. The idea is to allow different voices to be heard, allow them a role in your decision making. That's what it really means. And those are the kind of things ushering in this whole era of transparency. So how can you talk about the practices that you're doing in the privacy of your company, or maybe the CSR practices you're doing? How can you actually storytell about it so that others get inspired about with your example? Because in India, we have this strange idea of philanthropy should not be talked about, or CSR should not be talked about. It's something, we have some strange concept like that. So that was an uphill challenge for people to actually talk about good work, and also how we can take the change leaders, like people, really normal common men, who you will not, they don't have an organization supporting them, they don't have the corporate muscle, but community leaders. So we, through SLSV Purpose, I don't know if you've seen that handle, we started profiling community leaders, just people, standalone people who have who just decided to make a difference. And once we started doing that, we started getting a lot of traction. People started responding to what we were trying to create on our platform. So the community also has to move alongside. So the businesses have to move, but we realize that businesses and community, and this is not just NGO. Why should social service only be the exclusive domain of NGOs? Why should it be so? And why should one special outfit need to be made for something that everybody needs to do? So why should it be? So in my daily transaction as a human being, when I'm going out, I must figure out how I integrate charity in my day-to-day living. It is just something that I have to do at my own personal individual level. And once I start doing that, then it gets translated into a government, then it gets translated into our businesses, then it gets translated into even our NGOs. See, it has to start with me. So each one of us at our personal individual level have to take that call of how can I be charitable, how can I make sound business decisions which are inclusive for all. And you don't have to be a CEO and MD, even at a junior employee level. There's lots that you can do in your personal independent capacity. So really, those are the kind of things that we are trying to sort of propose. So we run consultancy, we run a media sustainability advisory sort of service. Then we do workshops about purpose. So how do you align the purpose of an individual with that of the corporate purpose? Otherwise, you're just coming and doing a job. You're getting paid a salary, you're coming a job, and you're not invested you're not invested. There's no purpose. You're just coming because, oh, you get a salary. That's it. And maybe you like the work you do. But when it can be so much more, when it can be so much more fulfilling. So we try to align the sense of purpose that a person or an individual or an employee has with the overall purpose of the corporate. So for that, of course, the corporate needs to have a well-defined purpose. What is it that trying to solve? What is the problem? So if you ask a corporate, what do you do? Oh, I make this. Oh, this is my top line. Oh, I make, I got funded this ticket size. That's the story they will tell you, right? The story they need to tell me is that how are they making a difference to people's life? What is the value they're creating? That's the language. And very few corporate leaders speak that language. They only talk in terms of one quarterly result to another. And the job of doing that kind of talking is for their CSR department or for some marketing person. We want to, just dissolve this dichotomy. The job of a frontline business leader is to talk about how they are making a difference to people's lives, how their products are putting a smile on people's faces, how their products are letting others fulfill their life's mission. How are they helping others to succeed? any company, and every company is actually doing that. Only that they don't know. Because if they were not doing that, consumers will not be buying them. So, consumers don't just buy a product. So really, that's really the whole philosophy with which I don't know whether that gives a good idea about what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, that's what it would be.
So I align with you 100% on this. Like, that's why I'm just like, I want to keep hearing you, because that's significant to breed success. I found in America and other countries that we're told to go to high school, go to college, get good grades, get a good job, make a lot of money, and then someday, you go give back. It's like what people were asking you, what's in it for you? Like, what's in it for you? What are you going to get out of it? And it's so interesting how so many people chase what's in it for them versus actually chasing, how do I make an impact? How do I be significant? How do I go serve a community? How do I solve a problem? Because there aren't that many people. They can solve an individual problem a lot of time, but they're not solving a bigger social or economical problem of, yeah. I mean, you see what's going on. Have you been seeing what's going on in America the last couple of weeks with the riots and everything like that?
Exactly.
So it's crazy because I've been working in challenging neighborhoods with kids for over 10 years. I mean, I've been serving kids for, since I started something in 2019, but, at the end of the day, it's like, how do I solve a problem? But the problem, I love what you're saying, is like, build it into a company, make that impact, work with the government side of it. How do you create that? But most people aren't thinking about that, because even one of my buddies works for a big organization in California. He's like, I don't want to solve homelessness. Like, I built a big company, and I'm thinking to myself, bro, you're an asshole. Like, why would you even get into something like this when you don't want to solve the problem? It's just crazy to me how we have so much, like, I can see your passion and your drive. I want to take you out to lunch, by the way, or like, we go see the Dalai Lama again. Like, I actually just asked if the Dalai Lama, because I just got engaged. So I asked my friends to talk to him and see if he would do like a marriage or a blessing or something like that out in India. I'll fly out there again. But it's just crazy, like how do we develop more people? And I love what you're doing with the with your website. It's soundandlight.in. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And you're also doing the other program. It's mentoring startups. It's Empower, EMPOWER.zone, and accelerating women entrepreneurship. Absolutely love this stuff, because you're like adding so much value and mentorship to these younger women that want to change the world.
Exactly. So thank you for that. And like I said, it was just very instinctive. It just, one thing leads to another. It's like unraveling. You just have a thread and you just start unraveling, and you're guided. I think I'm guided, and so most of it, I base a lot of my business and whatever I pick up on prayers. I mean, it sounds really, it's not the cool thing to do, I think, perhaps, but, most of my decisions, whenever I decided, even a day-to-day regular, I will base a lot of it on prayers. And I said, hey, please allow me to create value through my decisions, whatever, and empower me to give me the wisdom to take the right decision, which has the maximum good, which achieves the maximum good. And that includes money. I mean, I do not see, like, I'm not saying that, oh, if you're doing good work, you should not make money, because it will come. But there's no point in first. So that's what I'm saying. Your profits will quadruple in case when we talk to business leaders, we suggest to them that even startups find it very difficult to think inclusive, diverse. They're saying, hey, I have, a top line to chase. I have taken the funding. I'm answerable for that funding. So I can't be doing this kind of sort of, that probably dilutes my focus. Yeah. And that's what we demonstrate to them, that even more so, even now is the time to make sure as a startup to figure out what your purpose is and impregnate that in your business plan.